fall with dreams of a trip to Halifax in March. After 3 months of league and playoff competition, that number, 38, has been whittled down to 4. And ironically, the matchups feature the two Canada West schools in one semifinal and the two Ontario West Division teams in the other.
The Victoria-Saskatchewan matchup in Game 1 will be a replay of the Canada West semifinal. Saskatchewan's Guy Vetri brought his team home in 4th place in Canada West. But the play of national team forward Byron Tokarczuk has been a major part of the Husky story in the last month. The 6'8 veteran from Saskatoon scored 30 in the semifinal win over the Vikings and added 38 points and 27 rebounds in the 2 wins over Dalhousie and Manitoba. Greg Jockums and Sheldon Rima have been key members of the supporting cast, but there is concern that guard John Clemens, who hurt his ankle in the warm-up before the Manitoba game, may not be able to play much at Halifax. The Vikings finished the regular season with a 9-1 record, only to be upset in the semifinals, but they looked sharp in winning last weekend's regional tournament in Lethbridge. 7-foot center Cord Clemens was outstanding in Lethbridge, and the supporting cast, led by veterans Randy Steele and David Sheehan, played very well too. Indeed, Victoria won the final against the Pronghorns on the basis of rebounding and defense. 2 qualities that suggest the Viking ship is ready to play at the intensity level needed to win another title. This will be the Huskies' second trip to the national.
The key to beating the Vikings tomorrow will be playing the best basketball they know how and stopping the Vikings' 7-foot giant Cord Clemens.
Number 1, you have to control Cord Clemens. He's a 7-footer. He's a potential All-Canadian. He's a tremendous basketball player. He has hurt us in the past. He's hurt a lot of teams. We have to control him.
Because of his size, Clemens is a tough player to guard. As a matter of fact, Vitry would like to put about 7 players on him. There's just one problem with that.
Unfortunately, you only get 5 at a time on the court.
Actually, the Huskies have a good match for the big Viking of Byron Tokarczuk, a national team member who has given Clemens his share of giant-size headaches.
It's tough playing against 2 players. I mean, it's tough playing against one, especially like Tokarczuk. But I mean, when you got 2 guys checking you, it's so hard to move.
Meet Vikings coach Ken Shields.
Okay, let's go.
Shields insists the pressure isn't building as the Vikings go after number 7.
The previous 6 are history. I mean, they've got nothing to do with this one. I mean, it's all the past. This is just another chance to come in. We have 2 games to play, and if we win them, we'll be national champions. There's no more pressure than that.
The Vikings meet the Huskies in their opening game, and it should be a good one. Last time these...
about 6.5 minutes away from the play introduction. And right now, it's a pleasure to welcome Doug Hayes, the head coach on the Sports Network at Waterloo against the University of Western Ontario. This delay has been caused the shot clock. They have now been fixed, but yet another problem has arisen. The netting at the net that the Saskatchewan Huskies will defend in the first half has been broken, and so there has been a further delay while some new netting is found. And it looks like the Ides of March have struck just about on schedule. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Final Four in house. Introducing the starting lineup for the number 12 ranked University of Saskatchewan Huskies. Number 13, David Karwacki. Number 22, John Dewar. Number 32, Sheldon Rima. Number 33, Kirk Jones. Number 51, Byron Samarchuk. The head coach of the Saskatchewan Huskies is Guy Petrie. Now introducing the starting lineup for the number 2 ranked University of Victoria Vikings. Number 11, Lloyd Rupp. Number 14, Randy Steele. Number 21, Sean Kalinowicz. Number 22, David Sheehan. Number 55, Ford Clemens. And the head coach of the Victoria Vikings is Ken Shields. The officials for this game, Frank Giacchetto from Guelph, Dick Steve from Moncton. Ceremonial tip-off here, and it will get this tournament underway about 35 minutes late, but underway nonetheless.
Well, it seems like a half a day ago. I said they were going to toss the ball up, and now we're going to do it.
And Mr. Barham, one of our 3 1986 Merit Award winners. Mr. Hamlin has been honored as a Merit Award winner because of his 30-year involvement as an administrator and organizer in the sport of basketball. If the 2 starting centers will please come forward, as they have, we will now have the ceremonial tip-off.
Husky, the president of the CIU, to throw up the jump ball, a ceremonial tip-off. And Gord Clemens won that one, but the next one will be for real, Mr. Donahue, and we may get a little more effort out of both players.
Well, you know, I can't believe that all of the distractions we've had and the delays, and I know that you've been talking to some of the coaches about that. But it shows you, Peter, everybody knows Murphy's Law. Nobody listens about Donahue's Law, and that is that Murphy was an optimist. And there are things that cannot go wrong that will go wrong. And the coaches out here are hoping it's certainly not going to happen in their game.
Have you ever been in a situation like this where you've had a team had to wait 35 minutes to play?
I've been in every situation in a basketball game that's possible, Peter. Yes, I have. A University of Connecticut game, when I was coaching the university, bomb scare, 4-hour delay. Everybody left except the 2 teams. Let's get in. Hey, this is championship basketball. This is what we've been waiting for all year.
35 minutes in, but it won't take these 2 teams long to get into it. As the ball goes to Peters, and here is David Karwacki coming across the midcourt for the University of Saskatchewan. Now John Dewar sets it up in the corner and gets the return pass from Rima. And the Huskies go to work on this Victoria defense. storylines for this Husky team is the fact that John Cleland is not going to be able to play in the tournament by the looks of things. He has a broken metatarsal in his left foot.
Here's that play. Gee, with John George just was put in a situation where he wanted to stop a basket. There was nothing else that he could do.
We were talking about John Cleland. No, good point. And the fact is that John Cleland will not play in this tournament, and that does some things to the Saskatchewan Huskies that Guy Vitry is not terribly happy with. Randy Steele on that last basket. It is a 4-2 game now in favor of Victoria.
2-3 zone by Victoria. They're looking to keep their big man underneath the basket, and he certainly did his job then.
And not only did he get the block shot, but he also drew the foul. I believe Rima charged.
Here's
Sheldon
that
Rima.
And the shot gets knocked away. Now we get a good look, and he just takes a good shot. He's annoyed that Clemens takes a shot at him. We've been joined now by John Restivo, our super statistician.
Head coach at the University of Ottawa GGs, moonlighting in Halifax for a few days and trying to stay out of the office.
More than likely recruiting all over the place.
Very
here.
likely.
All those clubs out here in Halifax are going to be worried now about the players that he's getting. We have a little problem here with them. Need another basket.
Need another ball. The ice of Marshall struck early here. Frank Chiquetto's got a couple of basketballs out there. Now we've got another basketball being tossed.
3. You know what they might be? The other two balls look like they're very, very new, and they might just be a little slippery. Although the guys who are shooting the ball have done a pretty good job on it. But
a minute and a half gone in the first half.
That's probably what was wrong with the ball, because they've got a ball that's been used a little more. 2-3 zone down the other end by Saskatchewan, also trying to block in, protecting themselves against the big man.
Ian missed from well out. Here comes Saskatchewan. Karwaki. John Dewar. Dewar. There's a veteran for you. Great player in 5 years at the University of Saskatchewan. He is one of 2 players on this team who was on the Husky team that last played in a national in 1982. The last year the tournament wasn't held in Halifax. It was played in Victoria that year. No movement. And we got a whistle away from the ball. 3 in the key is the call. It'll be Saskatchewan basketball. And we've got a 4-4 game with 2 minutes and 20 seconds gone in the opening half. Play delayed about 35 minutes because of problems with the shot clock and also problems with one of the nets. Dewar works against Steele. Rima inside. Jones over Clemens.
Well, I tell you, we're not going to see much of that. And Mr. Jones gets jammed in there. He's only 6'4". He's giving away 7 inches when he goes up over toward Clemens.
Ian. This is going to be interesting now. The last week in Lethbridge, Jack, Victoria wanted to go inside all the time. This time they got a 6'8" guy named Zakarchuk, who is as wide as he is tall, playing in the middle. And I'm not sure they're going to be able to go inside with the same degree of enthusiasm they did last week.
That's right. But if they do go inside, they're going to have to shoot over him. They're certainly not going to move him out underneath there.
Randy Steele gets the rebound, sets it up for Lloyd Straub, and the ball goes right through his leg. And I think we're seeing some of the effects of that 35-minute delay here.
Great pass by that particular time by Randy, but Stubbs wasn't ready for it. And there's a case of neither player being at fault in that position.
Well, Jockums is into the ball game now, number 12. And he's in the backcourt. Well, he's up front right now playing. He will be used at both positions. The injury to John Cleland means that Jockums will see a lot of service at guard in this game as a spare part. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Husky basketball. On the side is the Victoria end. 6-4 is the score. Saskatchewan with the lead. Here's Kirk Jones once again off the top of the rim this time, and another foul is called, a holding infraction, this time against Zakarchuk, who went after the loose ball with Dave Sheehan, and it'll be Victoria basketball. and the game is tied at 6. 4 minutes gone in the opening half. The national semifinal of the Final Four tournament from Halifax.
A little bit of a appropriate stretch there by Victoria.
Jacobs hits from the corner. The rebound went to Clemens. Boyd Scrum starts back for Victoria. She and inside, turnaround jumper. Kalinovic off the rim. There's Clemens for 2. Banging and crashing deep in the Saskatchewan zone, and finally Dewar up quickly, and a good job by Kirk Jones to control the basketball from Kalinovic. There's the Karchuk. And that time he was way short. The rebound taken by Kalinovic, and Randy Steele has the ball. Inside, Clemens throws it right back out again. Scrub gets it in. Kalinovic. Saskatchewan has to be concerned about the coverage on Kalinovic. All of a sudden, he's starting to get open, Jack.
That's right. It wasn't a surprise starter for us, but Jamie Newman is usually the guy that starts in that spot. Coach Ken Shields thought he wanted a little more quickness out there.
Peters from the corner now to Karchuk off the rim, and he's been cold so far. Kalinovic 3 for 4 from the floor. And Scrum takes the pass from Steele, goes into traffic, and makes a great basket.
Scrubs nearly got stepped on out there. Nearly got scrubbed. What happened to him? He's got to watch himself. Too many big guys.
Timeout called on the floor by the University of Saskatchewan. 14:19 to go in the first half of the national semifinal from Halifax.
Backcourt to backcourt, TSN continues the excitement and thrills of professional basketball as we close in on the playoffs. Saturday, March 15th, the Atlanta Hawks take on the New York Knicks. All the exciting live action starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Sports Network.
Secretaries, where the entertainment will be the Screaming Trees.
Inbound the press. We can go. You guys bust your ass. Everybody's down there, okay? Let's go.
Well, we got to look. We got to look at Ken Shields, but we heard the end of the Saskatchewan huddle, and it's their timeout. The refs are going to go in there and bust this up right about now. They're in trying to chase these guys going. When there's a timeout, it's a minute timeout, and you can't take any more of that, but if the team that called it finishes earlier, everyone's supposed to come back out on the court.
14:19 to go here in the first half from the University, from the Metro Center in Halifax. Victoria, 6-time national champions, trying to make it 7 in a row, an unprecedented number. There is Peters inside, and a little bump action with Clemens, and it'll be Viking basketball.
They got a little, I think they call it 3 seconds inside. And there was the bumping, though. Shows you being a good referee, maybe a good coach if you're critical about that bumping, Peter.
Kalinovic off the rim to Karchuk, control. Here comes John Dewar. Karwacki into the corner, back outside. Jacobs short, off the rim. Scrum hauled the rebound in. Here comes Randy Steele. Victoria seems to want to play a little bit of a running game, and we get a holding call against Dewar.
Steele just dragged him into that foul. John Dewar's second foul. But Steele dragged him into it. Well, take a look here. You see he goes right at Dewar. He makes a turn there. He doesn't have a play in front of him, really, but he picks up that foul. He goes, I think he was looking for the foul.
Dewar has come out of the ball game. Jacobs is in there. And it looks like he's not dropped into the backcourt now. There is Kalinovic once again. He's got 8 points. He has really played very well for this Victoria team, coming off the bench early in the season. And since Jamie Newman developed a few lower back problems, there's a foul against Clemens trying to guard Karchuk. But since Newman developed a few back problems, Sean Kalinovic has come off the bench and played very, very well. And the big man has his first foul.
Good pass inside. We'll get a good look at that. Great pass inside. Watch Here comes Wango right in there, and there's nothing else the Clemens can do. It's in very bad position. The big thing was the ball moved. The ball moved and got him in very, very bad position.
We talked about the Katarchuk matchup with Clemens, Jack. And the thing about Byron is that he is officially 4 inches shorter, but he is such a big man physically. He weighs about 260 pounds, and he really does not give up that much playing defense against the 7-footer.
No, well, those guys can still go over him, but there's the strength factor, and he really wears down some of the bigger players.
Kalanovic gets another basket. He's got 10 points so far, and we've played just over 8 minutes. Just over 7 minutes, rather, here in the first half. Karwacki and Rima outside. There's Jockums, a little room along the baseline, and a bad pass into traffic, and Scrub comes back. Great pass to Randy Steele. Victoria is hot, 18-6 the score. And they have put the last 6 points on the board uncontested. That time, a nice play by Jockums for Saskatchewan.
That pass that was thrown, that last pass that Scrub threw was an unbelievable pass. Got it right over the defense and let right in for a nice easy layup. Well, not an easy layup, tough layup.
Inside, Clemens has the ball go off the foot of a Saskatchewan defender, and here come the Huskies. They need to make something happen, and there's Jockums off the rim, and here's Sheehan quickly up the scrum. This Victoria team really going to the fast break kind of game, and there's the big guy. Ford Clemens hits the score sheet for the first time.
That's not the baskets they expect Clemens to get, but when those come, they're a great bonus, and they're certainly not going to turn them back.
I beg your pardon. We got a whistle there. Clemens has 4, and we will take a break for just a moment. 11:47 to go in the first half from Halifax. Victoria leads it by 12.
Now you can buy the only authorized source book of Blue Jays baseball, the 1986 Toronto Blue Jays official guide. It has everything: photos, player records, prospects, and detailed stats. The 86 Blue Jays guide is available in stores everywhere, or you can order by phone or mail. Here's how. Call 1-416-967-3891 or write to this address with your check or money order. The Blue Jays guide is $6.95 plus $2 postage and handling. COD, $2 extra.
They've got to get some good pressure on people, and they've got to set up in that zone a lot earlier.
Well, one of the things that they have done is take Dave Sheehan out of the lineup, at least for the moment, and put the veteran Jamie Newman on the floor, number 42. He's been a great defensive player for 5 years at the University of Victoria. This is his last year of eligibility. Karwacki from well out hits the score sheet. First point in the ball game for David Karwacki from Saskatoon. Vito Pasquale is into the ball game to play at the guard spot as well for the University of Victoria. Wearing number 4, the veteran from Lockerbie High School in Sudbury, Ontario.
Saskatchewan's still in that 2-3 zone. Falls inside, though.
Clemens missed everybody. That time Tatarchuk got caught a little bit off the baseline, and the pass got in there uncontested. But the big man could not make the shot. Now, nice pass inside and off the tip ball. Tatarchuk is checked. Tatarchuk again over Clemens. Newman controls. So the shooters have suddenly gone a little cold here. Now, Newman from the corner. Kalanovic missed the rebound. Rima gets it to Karwacki. Inside and over Clemens. Foul is called.
Very important play. Very important play. Let's see that ball get inside. You got to remember, the guy that gets that ball inside, he's got to take a lot of credit. A little pump fake and a bounce, and sure enough, Clemens gets him. First with upper bodies, he takes the shot. Don't know whether the referee called the first or the second one of those.
I see that Jerry DeVokie is into the basketball game, number 33. And Mark Peters is at the line for Saskatchewan.
Got to worry. I think both coaches got to worry a little bit with the delay of the game, whether or not the players are really warmed up. They usually have a ritual, and it's very toughly geared and very, very, very precise as to how long they're going to go.
20-11 the score. The Victoria Vikings by 9. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds to play in the first half. The national semifinal. The winner goes to the final. And Victoria has been there the last 6 years in a row. Newman looks from outside, fires from outside. And there is DeVokie with a great rebound and basket. And it's 22-11 Victoria.
Big basket. If Victoria can keep their 9-10-point lead with Clemens out of there, well, Pryor and Tokarczuk is getting tired. It's going to be much, much better for them when Clemens gets back in.
Dewar back on the floor for the University of Saskatchewan.
A lot of matching up out there by Victoria. When a man's in their area, they play a man-to-man, almost follow him through on those cuts.
Alanovich had the ball go out off his hands. He's a little upset with himself. And we'll take a break here with 9.5 minutes to play in the first half. The Vikings cheers. The Vikings lead.
The Budweiser Clydesdales, proud symbols of quality and tradition. For centuries, Clydesdales have been known for their power, grace, and beauty. They are truly a special breed. Budweiser, brewed with that great Beechwood aged taste. For everyone who cares about quality and tradition, this Bud's for you.
When won't be inside the fire. Okay, guys? Let's go. Walk straight up the clock. Don't give him anything down the middle.
Don't give him anything down the middle. Guy Beatree in his 7th year with the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. And you'd be surprised how many people make the long-haul road trip from the Canada West all the way to Halifax for the Final Four tournament. There are a few people here. As you look at Mark Peters standing down in the Saskatchewan zone.
I'll tell you one thing, there were 2,000 of them out in the final game in the regional, and I know Guy is tells me there's maybe another 2,000 back at PR's restaurant this afternoon watching this game right on TSN. He's excited about that.
Karwacki. Dewar around to Tokarczuk. Raima inside, works against DeVokie. And this time the veteran Newman hauls in the rebound. Here comes Lloyd Scrubb. This time controlled by Karwacki off the miss by Scrubb. David Karwacki, third year commerce student out of Holy Cross in Saskatoon. Makes the nice long shot. Karwacki with 4. It is 22-13. The score, a 9-point advantage for Victoria.
Keep in mind now that Clemens is sitting on that bench resting up. He's got a couple of fouls. But the job now of Victoria is to keep that game, keep that lead, that 9-10-point lead while he's out of there.
And we get a foul away from the ball. No basket will be the call. And the foul is against the Huskies, and fresh troops coming in. Peters for Saskatchewan, and also Drake Jacobs.
Let's get this fit. Let's watch it again. Comes in. Remember now, when that ball gets inside, there are people causing trouble. There's one. There they got a couple of people now. Grabbing out.
Both coaches substituting freely. David Sheehan back in for Victoria. Graham Taylor, number 12, makes his first appearance on the floor for the Vikings as Scrubb gets the rest. And John Dewar looks inside and finds Kirk Jones. Now Tokarczuk into the middle. And a good job and a foul call. Karwacki went to the loose ball. Then we get a foul.
Let's get a good look at this. Now here's the ball. Passed across. The ball gets batted away. And as he drives in here, sure enough, referee caught him slipping across.
Taylor, I believe, called for that foul. His first for Victoria. Tokarczuk has a little bit of an advantage now with Clemens on the bench, but he can't make the shot fall, and neither can Kirk Jones to DeVokie.
Jump ball will
Got
go
the loose ball, but it'll be jump ball.
The Victoria ball, alternating jump balls. alternating jump balls. Alternating jump balls, and Victoria gets this one because Saskatchewan got the original jump ball. Saskatchewan will get the next one.
We are having a few audio problems here, for which we apologize. We're working to get them fixed, and in the meantime, the important statistic is the scoreboard, 22-13. The Victoria Vikings with the lead. Inside, looking for Jamie Newman, and the veteran Sheehan takes the pass and has to come back out. Taylor now. Pasquale stole it, fired, and makes a great basket from a long way out.
We saw that last week, Peter. Pasquale came in against St. Francis Xavier and really saved the game for them. Just drilled about 3 in a row, made some key foul shots.
Now, there's a great rejection by DeVokie, and we get a pushing foul, and we'll sort it out when we come back. 7:23 to go in the first half from Halifax. The Vikings by 11.
Live college and NBA basketball action highlight a great Friday night on TSN. At 5 at CIAU basketball semifinal excitement. From Halifax, the Metro Center. At 7, Sports Desk. At 7:30, we're back in Halifax for semifinal number 2. At 9:30, we're live from Utah with the Spurs playing the Jazz in great NBA action. Followed by the evening edition of Sports Desk. That's all on TSN with the Jays play the Expos at 1:30 p.m. Eastern, live from Florida.
The CIAU Volleyball Championship.
Men's and women's national finals coming up Saturday, the 15th of March, with Vic Lindell and Vic Roeder describing the action from the University of Buxton. 1 o'clock Eastern for the women's, the men's to follow at 3 o'clock Eastern, and of course 2 and 4 Atlantic time. We hope you can join us for the first time ever. The CIAU National Volleyball Finals are on the Sports Network.
We're getting an awful lot of university sport on the network, and I think that the universities appreciate it. Certainly the fans appreciate it. As I travel back and forth across the country, I know that I just hear nothing but good reports about all of the coverage of university sport.
Well, 52 games on the Sports Network this year. Football, basketball, hockey, and of course the National Hockey Final still to come from Edmonton next week, and we'll have a semifinal on Saturday for you. And in the meantime, Greg Jochum's at the line for the University of Saskatchewan.
You notice that Greg is from Saskatoon. His entire team is from Saskatoon, and I'm sure that the local development in the province has got to be really excited about that. His whole team is in the Final Four, all from Saskatoon, from Saskatchewan, and most of them from Saskatoon.
DeVokie missed. Kirk Jones, a great job against the veteran Sheehan to get the rebound. Karwacki looks into the corner to Karchuk. Wide open is Dewar, but out too far. Karwacki isn't out too far, but he missed the shot. And Peters is rejected by DeVokie. And Victoria controls the ball. Taylor.
Graham Taylor has been an outstanding player. Doesn't play the minutes that an awful lot of other guys do, but I bet you he gets more points per minute than anybody on that club.
Jochum, great defense, throws it back into the middle, and there's teammate John Dewar to get the loose ball. This Victoria team playing at a much faster pace, Jack, than I have seen them play at before. They tend not to do that most of the time, but they seem to think that playing the fast break game is the way to beat Saskatchewan.
Yes, I guess that must be the game plan, because we don't see Ken Shields up doing much complaining about it. And they do have that 11 points.
Dewar from the corner, and this time a great rebound and another great defensive play by DeVokie, but he can't stop the third and fourth try, and Jones has 6. 26-17 is the score, a 9-point lead for the Vikings. 5 minutes and 50 seconds to go in the first half.
Saskatchewan still in that 2-3 zone.
Another turnover, and Saskatchewan controls with the veteran John Dewar, who was born in Antigonish, moved out to Saskatoon when his dad became the head of the phys ed program there a few years ago. Jones working against Wade Luke, who's in the ballgame for Victoria, number 32. And DeVokie nearly forced another turnover to Karchuk. His foul.
Big play by Karchuk, picking that ball up off the floor. It's great to see a big man able to do that. Let's watch him here. Pump, shot, ball gets batted away now. See, and now it's on the ground, and here he goes. He gets it. Here's that little foul. Turns and just makes the foul. Makes the foul. Fourth. And now we've got the University of Victoria in a foul situation. In a bonus situation, there'll be a one-on-one on every common foul. Common fouls are the ones that do not have a shooting situation involved. Karchek, John Restivo against Stupid-Fat, has told us that Karchek is only 1 for 5 from the floor. He's got to be careful. He's got to shoot a lot better percentage than that for them to stay in the game.
Well, he made the first one and didn't look very impressive on the second one at all. 5:22 to go here, and it's 26-18. An 8-point advantage for the Victoria Vikings, so that's the lowest advantage they have had now for 10 minutes or so of playing time. Sheehan looks, goes outside instead to Wade Lukes. Taylor inside. Great job by DeMoki. Make that Wade Lukes got that basket, number 32.
That certainly was some pass. Made the play.
Talk about balance. 8 players so far on the score sheet for the University of Victoria. And as we have talked on several occasions this year, the play of the players coming off the bench, Jack, has been so key to the performance of this Victoria team. I think it is one reason why the team's play this year has been much more even than last year, where they really struggled most of the season before finding their form in the regionals.
Well, I'll tell you, they're successful coaches, and we've seen Ken Shields do this. They develop their bench. They keep working people into the games when they can, so that when the game really counts, they can count on some of those people.
Another good play by Lukes on defense a few moments ago. Graham Taylor looks from well out and makes it look easy. Taylor with 4.
Have a little guys working on their floor game, spending a little bit of time down there. They get excited. We've got to remember, a little pushing like that, there's nothing malicious about it. There's an awful lot of contact in this game. It's a non-contact game in the rules, but that's the only place it's a non-contact game.
Jacobs to inbound, and they get it into Karwacki all right. And now John Dewar. Way up into the corner, and a little traveling call against Kirk Jones. Victoria basketball.
Just wanted to get a little start. I mean, I don't know why they call that all little steps.
30-18, a ball game. 12-point advantage. Sheehan trying to make it 14. Dewar controls the loose ball off the glass. Karwacki looking inside, fires instead. And this time the veteran Newman can't hang on, and there is Jacobs.
Well, we talked about Jacobs before, the handyman, the guy you'd like to have around your home. He just fixes up a lot of things, and that time just grabbed the ball again off the floor and stuck it right in.
Graham Taylor once again off the rim. Newman gets the loose ball and tries his luck. And this time it's controlled by Jacobs.
Ken Shields could not have liked either one of those shots. One was rushed. Graham Taylor rushed one, and then the other one we could have had the ball move around a little bit and get a little better shot at it.
Jacobs coming off the bench has 6 points so far for the University of Saskatchewan. He's got the ball again, turns playmaker this time, and they have to come back out to Karwacki. There's a great drive to the basket, and what do we got here? A holding call? Karchuk and Kalinovich getting set to come back in now for the two teams.
Here we go. Lightly see that guy go right along that baseline. That's the guy we talked about on the top of the show. I mean, he just goes on. You talk about a hard-nosed kid. That Mr. Joker is one of the toughest guys that we'll see here in this tournament.
Sheehan is called for his first foul of the tournament. He goes to the sidelines, and Kalinovich comes in, and Greg Jacobs is at the line.
I think what Coach Guy Vitry would like to do at this particular time, he wants to get it on under 10. Most coaches would like to get under 10 is the goal that you set when you've been down. They've been down 11, 12 points most of their half.
Well, they certainly have some work to do to get back into this basketball game, and so far they have not given a lot of indication that they can cut into this lead very much. But with Karchuk back on the floor now for the Huskies, perhaps they can make something happen. His opposite number 55, Clemens, is on the sidelines, at least at the moment. Taylor tries to force the ball inside. John Dewar will have nothing to do with that. 2:40 to go here in the first half from Halifax. Again, the winner of this game goes to the tournament final. Jakob inside. Zakarchuk is fouled. Randy Steele coming in for the University of Victoria.
They get it into talk. If they get it into Byron, he's going to be able to shove them in there. Now, they didn't get the foul that time, but they didn't get the basket because he fouled them before he could get a shot up.
Newman called for the foul. Zakarchuk simply 1 for 3 here from the line, and we get a jump ball called, and this time it'll be Saskatchewan ball on the alternating jump. David Karwacki to inbound from underneath the Victoria basket. Jacobs outside, gets the return pass from Dewar, and this time here's Zakarchuk, and he's fouled again. He's got him, Luke, I believe, Jack.
He's got to make him. He's got to make him this time, and he's going to have real problem if he keeps getting fouled and they don't make the foul shot, because this is the time with Clemens out of here where they've got to try and pick up. Remember now, Byron is almost a 70% foul shooter. What is he now? 2 for 4, Peter? So he should be making his percentage now. These things even out over a period of time.
Now 3 for 5. Now a 7-point game. Victoria still with the lead at 30-23 with 2:20 to go in the first half. Newman looks inside. Kalanovic has 10 so far, but he's being closely guarded here on the sidelines. The ball goes out of bounds. And Ken Shields takes the stroll down in the direction of referee Frank Chiquetto.
Whatever Ken said to him, it didn't seem to affect the referee, but he certainly was not pleased about something that happened down in that corner. He might have felt some of his players were getting bumped.
Newman from way out. Missed again off the rim, and Ken Shields shakes his head and says, I don't like that shot.
I think Jamie Newman would like to have it back also. Let's see how they handle this now.
Newman would like not to be 0 for 4, but that's what he is. Karwacki inside to Zakarchuk. Nice touch by the big man. Boy, is that ever a bonus when a player at 6'8" can make that little turnaround jumper in close. The Saskatchewan team has closed the gap to 5 points, 30-25 Victoria. A minute and a half to play in the first half. Steele looks and comes outside, and now Luke looks and has to come back out as well. Scrub. Nothing but cord on that one.
That's right. Lloyd Scrub shot that, and I was in a great angle to watch him. I couldn't believe he was going to make that shot, and yet it went up without anything. Just touched the net.
Not very happy are the Saskatchewan Huskies on that play as they're called for a double dribble. Karwacki will play defense now as Jamie Newman gets set to inbound. Here comes David Sheehan back on the floor, and he will take Wade Luke's place in the lineup.
I think I could read Guy Vicky's lips, and he said, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch carefully at that play, even though it did not go in our favor.
What you commonly refer to as the education process of the officials continues. Scrub in traffic.
Whoa, baby. Peter, that is some shot.
The bonus is in, Jack, and it has nothing to do with foul.
I'll tell you, that one really can. I mean, he deserves that. Deserves that because the last one, he just stuck it up there and didn't do anything except touch the net.
So Scrub at the line. Missed on his try. Saskatchewan controls off the rim. Down below a minute to play in the first half. It is 34-25. And all of a sudden a 9-point game once again. Dewar sets it up to Zakarchuk off the rim. This time Lloyd Scrub got the loose ball. Into the corner, Sheehan. Ken Shields up saying Karwacki interfered with his man. The officials decide otherwise. Sheehan around into the corner. Kalanovic again. And he's got 12 points so far here in the first half. Great steal by Sheehan. By himself, David Sheehan.
Big play by Sheehan. I think the St. Patrick's Day came early for David Sheehan.
Zakarchuk
Sets it up. Karwacki. 8 seconds left. They play for one shot. Jochums along the line. Will try it. Jochums. And the buzzer sounds. Jochums with 9 in the first half. But unfortunately for the University of Saskatchewan, it is 38-27 the score. The Vikings lead it by 11. From the Metro Center in Halifax. And right now it's time for Jack Donahue, the illustrator, and some highlights of the first half. Coach?
Well, I'll tell you what, we've got a couple of great highlights up here. And one of them, the first one, I think, shows you not so much the size and everything. It shows you how important a good pass is. We've got the play up here. I think you want to watch Mr. Scrubs. The other gentleman you want to watch is Randy Steele. Let's move it ahead just a little bit, and let's watch right here. Stop it right there. The man I think we want to watch is right here. Let's see what Scrubs does. Remember now, he's got his head up, and he's watching that basketball game. He is not running with his head down. Let's take a good look at what happens with Scrubs right here. That ball is going to get passed. Hold it right there. We have 1, 2 players who don't even know where the basketball is. One defensive player's got a shot at it, but as we go ahead, we're going to see he doesn't get a good shot. Great pass. Wonderful cooperation. Catches the ball, takes his little jiggle step, lays the ball up. 2 points. That's the kind of baskets they get because they've got to worry so much about Clemens. They got to worry about so many other guys that on defense, Victoria makes a steal, Victoria makes a fast transition game, and they get that ball up there quickly. However, Saskatchewan...
Okay, Jack, that's all the time that we have for highlights for this half. At any rate, we will see what happens when the second half gets underway from the Metro Center in Halifax. 38-27, Victoria by 11. 20 minutes of basketball still to play.
Business travelers are waking up to the good deal they get at Howard Johnson.
Good morning.
A recent U.S. survey was positively eye-opening. Our guests rated our message and wake-up service higher than Best Western guests rated theirs. Our room decor better than Holiday Inn guests. Our staff more efficient than Ramada's. Towels thicker, too. People with a nose for business are finding the nearly 500 Howard Johnson hotels and lodges a good deal. And a good deal more.
The first set from halftime here. The first set from the first half, rather. The field goal percentage, Jack, is rather interesting. Just 25% from the field for the University of Saskatchewan.
Well, they are. They're really having a lot of trouble with that. But look down there. Foul throw percentage for Victoria. Did they shoot a foul shot in the first half?
Victoria shot one shot. Scrub missed it, and that was the only free throw that they had in the first half. But they have not needed points from the line, at least not in the first 20 minutes of play. 38-27 the score. As you look at the Viking bench and Ken Shields.
And we've got to remember also that Clemens is out on the court now, and it makes a big, big difference. And here they go. Victoria is going to have that basketball, and they're going to attack. Again, the alternate jump ball. No jump ball for the second half. Saskatchewan got the last jump ball. Victoria gets this one.
Starters back on the floor for both teams now as Victoria puts the ball in play to start things here in the second half. Lloyd Scrub looks and gives it off to Sheehan. And they get it into Clemens, and the big guy makes the hook shot. He should be well rested here. He didn't play very much in the first half. And he has 6 points now so far. Remember, he had 16 in the final last Saturday night against the University of Lethbridge in the Far West Regional Final. And he was outstanding in that game, as was his teammate Dave Sheehan. And Sheehan in the first half didn't do very much scoring either, but they have had 9 players figure in the scoring for the University of Victoria, and that balance has been so very key. And on the scramble now, Randy Steele and John Dewar go after it, and it'll be Saskatchewan basketball. We're just underway in the first minute of play here in the second half, and Victoria leading it soundly.
Well, we've got to remember, as you said, Clemens is rested now. He hasn't gotten himself in foul trouble. He sat on a bench. They still got their 10, 11-point lead. Now they're up to 13, but they're ready to go with a very rested big man.
Steele off the rim. This time Zakarchuk got the loose ball out to Sheldon Rima, who has not been much of a factor in this game so far. Here's Randy Steele working against Dewar. And there's the tip ball, and the big guy, Clemens, went up and got fouled by Zakarchuk.
That's what Clemens has got to do. The way he followed that shot up, you could see it coming. There was no way they were not going to get some kind of points out of that. Watch this. Here he comes. See, he's waiting for Clemens. Clemens doesn't get there in time. So now he knows, if I put this ball up on the board, here comes my big guy. Clemens gets one shot at it, gets it here, and now he gets a little smack and draws that foul. That is a hustle basket. George Clemens hustling down the court to get himself in a rebounding position.
Clemens with 4 points in the first half. He's got 3 so far here in the first minute and a half of the second half. Tokarczuk got the rebound. And we should tell you that Jacobs is back in the ball game, and Sheldon Rima's taking a seat on the bench. So Guy Petrie not very happy with the play of Sheldon Rima, and that's a big, big problem for the University of Saskatchewan. A foul against Steele, and Peters will get credit for that basket. And it'll be a 2-shot foul, I believe. Should only be a shot, Jack, if they call it on.
It's only going to be a shot if they call it. Let's see what he said. I don't know whether he said 2-shot foul or 2 points were scored. Let's see what we've got here. He's got 1 shot. No, the basket counts. He's got the 1 shot. Possibility of a 3-point play.
Kirk Jones
kicks out and comes right back in again.
He's got 9 so far in the game, 6 of them in the first half. 41-29 is the score. 12-point game. And the Vikings playing much more patient now, trying to get the ball inside. And having said that, there's Grubb with another prayer from well out.
Put that ball up there very well.
A traveling call against Karwacki.
Well, Karwacki doesn't believe it, and he picked up his dribble, and he felt he didn't do anything. Here's a good-looking guy, friend of yours there. The Vikings gave his interpretation to the official.
Grubb is 5 for 6 in the field, having a big day. Clemens inside, and the big man did a job there. 9 points now for Clemens. He's starting to find the range. He's got a couple of fouls on him, and we got a reaching in call against Randy Steele. And here comes Pasquale into the ball game, and Grubb doesn't even wait for instructions. He just heads for the bench.
Ken Shields doesn't want to return to what went on the first half where they put Saskatchewan on the foul line.
Tokarczuk outside. Dewar took a look but said, no, I'll go inside to Kirk Jones. And Jones has been just about the most effective shooter for the Huskies in this game. There's the steal by Dewar.
Great hustle by John Dewar. His dad is here in town watching his ball game. I just wonder if Mr. Jones has got any of his relatives in town. 5 for 5. If I were 5 for 5, I'd invite my whole family into town.
I don't know if there are enough seats in this rink for this. Clemens scores again. 7 in the half, 11 overall for the 7-footer from Surrey. Karwacki. Jacobs inside. Clemens plays some defense, but Tokarczuk beat him that time. And the big men have not been the scoring factor in this game so far that we thought they might be. Although Clemens again is starting to find the range. He's got 3 Husky defenders on him. That leaves Sheehan open from the far side.
We said Sheehan, but the game is not as close as Saskatchewan would like it right now, but Dave Sheehan is going to make sure that he doesn't get close. That's what he's doing.
Karwacki finds the range from 15 feet out. Karwacki has 6. 16:25 to play in the second half. 49-36. It was 11-point lead at the half. It's 15 now. And Kalanovic hits the score sheet once again. He led all scorers with 12 in the first half. And he has 14 for the game and counting. Karwacki.
If Victoria can keep maintaining this situation, they can afford to trade baskets, whereas Saskatchewan cannot afford to trade baskets.
Jones fouled by Clemens. Here comes Jerry DeVokie. 3rd foul on Clemens, and he will come out. And Mark Peters is coming in as well. Jerry DeVokie, he's really done a job the last month or so off the bench for Ken Shields.
Certainly has, and he's done a great job in this particular game. The rest that we talked about Clemens getting in the first half isn't going to help him if he's got to sit down on a bench, because he was certainly a factor out here for the first 4 or 5 minutes.
Zakarchuk in traffic, looking to make a play, and does, but the ball goes wide, and it's finally scramble after it. Finally, we get a jump ball called. It'll be Victoria basketball. We'll take a break for just a moment. 15:50 to go here in the second half from Halifax. 51-36 Victoria.
Announcing an important step forward in auto service, the Canadian Tire Service Promise.
At Canadian Tire, we promise to fix your car right, and it's not right until you're satisfied. The bill you get will never be more than the estimate you approve. We guarantee our work, we guarantee our parts. We promise to do only what's necessary. For auto service that sets new industry standards, the right choice is Canadian Tire. Nothing unexpected, nothing unexplained. We promise.
Well, here we go. Grapefruit League Baseball. The Yankees versus the Blue Jays. Sunday, March 16th, 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Paul Beeston will be down there arguing with George Steinbrenner, trying to straighten that out. But what we want to watch is that great game.
I understand that Mr. Beeston is trying to give you a course in just exactly how baseball is played. Are you doing the same thing for him in terms of this game?
Well, first of all, he's got a much better student than I would have. So Beeston is a little problem. I'm trying to get him to understand baseball, much less basketball.
Is this one of your ex-players here?
This is a coach's retirement program right there. You get to use that outfit if you do a good job.
The University of Waterloo Band is here, and they tell me that they are the official band of the national team. Do you know anything about that?
Well, listen. Whoa, I'll tell you what I do know about. Mr. Scrub is not playing around.
10 points for Lloyd Scrub so far. Here comes Jocham. Nice move to the basket, and he got fouled en route.
You know, he just took it right at people. There was, I think, from about the time he got to half court, there wasn't much doubt that he was going to get fouled. Just a matter of who was going to do it.
Foul. He doesn't have to go here in the second half. One for 2 from the line. Devoki with the rebound. Here comes Pasquale. Kalanovic. And this time the loose ball is controlled briefly by the Huskies. And now Sheehan from the side. Off the rim, knocked away. Karwaki takes it. Karwaki inside. And Peters couldn't handle it. Here comes Lloyd Scrub once again. Sheehan, great basket, count it.
Scrub to Sheehan. Just great clinic. Take a look at this. This is a basketball winner. Scrub takes the ball over to the center, brings the defensive player to him, gives it over here. Dave Sheehan takes that ball right to the basket. Tremendous concentration. Gets smacked on the way to the basket. We're going to have a three-point play. Possible three-point play right here.
Possible it is. Sheehan with a very quiet 7 points in the game, but he picks his spots and gets them at a good time. 56-37 now, biggest lead in the ball game for the University of Victoria at 19 points. Trying to go inside. There's Lloyd Scrub once again. 3-on-2. Kalanovic. Nice basket. Count it. Foul. Karwaki. Upset Huskies.
Well, they're letting the game. The game is kind of getting out of hand. I guess they've got themselves a timeout. Look at that drive to the basket. Whoa.
58-37 is the score. 14:42 to go here. And we have a timeout on the floor as the coaches are in huddle. A reminder that the Sports Network will have more international hockey coming up for you. John Wells and Jim Van Horn and a supporting cast. We'll have the Moscow Select Team Canada on Tuesday, the 18th of March, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time will be the time of that. That's, of course, 10:30 here in the Maritimes. And the national team has been on the Sports Network a few times this year.
Dave King and company doing a good job getting ready for the Olympics coming up in less than 2 years' time in Calgary.
Well, Dave's certainly doing a great job with that team. Here they go. There were the two mascots. All right, and here we go. This is the Vikings. God, that guy's been around as long as Kenny Shields has been around out there, I think.
He's been to, this is his 9th or 10th national tournament in a row, he was telling me at the dinner the other day.
Is that right? Oh, that. When is he going to graduate? Is he going to do what you did, take 10 or 12 years to get through college?
Never let your books interfere with your education.
That's right.
Kalanovich has really done a job for Victoria in this game. He's got 17 points by my count here unofficially, 14:35 to go. And right now the Vikings are in complete command in this game, and the Huskies really don't show that they can come back very well, although they get a break there as Dave Sheehan is called for the foul.
You're right, Peter. If they don't get into the basketball very, very quickly. Let's see that pass inside. See, whenever that ball goes inside, we can come up with some fouls. But it hasn't gone inside enough, and they haven't had the opportunity to build them up.
Karwacki put the ball in play once again for the University of Saskatchewan. 59-37 inside, and another steal. And we get a whistle and a traveling call, this time against Sheehan. Number 22 has been a great player for 5 years. I think in the last 2 years, Jack, perhaps because some of the great stars in Victoria have graduated, Sheehan is getting a little bit more attention from the national media and also from respective teams around the CIU. But he is a fine, fine player. And he will be, like Phil Ohl was last year, very, very tough to replace when he graduates this spring.
Certainly will be, and that's the type of player that I think he is. Very similar to Ohl. When Ohl was there, Sheehan had to do less.
There's John Dewar with his first points of the half. He has 4 overall. 59-39 now. 13:55 to go. And with a 20-point game, you have to consider the clock as a factor in this game, particularly for the Saskatchewan Huskies.
They've got to learn to peck away. They're playing man-to-man defense now. See, and this is going to change things anyway, but they've got to peck away at this score. They can't try and do it a bunch at a time. They've got to get a basket at a time.
Pasquale off the rim. There's Devoki looking for a loose ball, and Kirk Jones hauled it in instead. Dewar works his way back down the floor. Jones up and in. Nice basket.
Jones got a very good touch near the basket. That must have been about the second or third basket he got, flying through the air. As long as he's inside that foul lane area, he seems to have tremendous touch to the basket.
Kalanovich off the rim. This time Jones plays defense and gets the rebound. He's got 13 points to lead all Husky scores. Inside, looking for Jacob. Jacob's got the loose ball outside, and there's John Dewar. And there is Sean Kalanovich. Ken Shields wants to holler, but his team didn't give up a point, and he's finding it hard to be critical when they got the ball, and here's Scrub.
He's got to be critical about the shots that they got and the offensive rebound that they got. You don't have to give up points. It's like a deflection. Keep good track of the deflections because they're a half inch away from a steal.
Kalanovich in traffic.
Boy.
19 for Kalanovich, having a big game.
Well, we've seen him play, and we've seen him develop this year from a very little-used player earlier in the year. The guy who starts, whoa.
Jones that time. She is called for going over. We'll take a break and sort out the foul when we come back. 12:14 to go here in the second half from Halifax. It's the Vikings 61, the Huskies 41.
It's playoff time in Canadian college hockey. Be with us for the 1986 championship from Edmonton. On Saturday, March 22nd, live from the Northlands Agricom. Peter Watts and Gary Green will be there for great semifinal action. It's an exciting brand of hockey. Be with us Saturday, March 22nd at 4 Eastern, here on the Sports Network.
This telecast is protected by copyright and is intended solely for the non-commercial entertainment of our viewing audience. Any use, reproduction, or distribution in whole or in part of the pictures or descriptions herein contained, without the express written consent of the Sports Network, is strictly prohibited.
Can you detect what Guy Vitry might have said to his team at the half in terms of cutting into this lead? Because
advantage or change it at this point in the game. 12-14 to go, and an 18-point game with Victoria in front.
I think Guy's got to talk to them. Well, first of all, to get them up off their butts. He may have done a little knee scraping out there and done a little yelling at some people. But the next thing he's got to do is remind them that we still have plenty of time. 12 minutes is an awful long time. We're talking about 12 minutes is 12 baskets, if you want, which brings us well in control of this game. But they've got to stop UVIC down at their end.
Well, Tokarczuk missed from the free throw line once again. And in the meantime, Ken Shields has put a lot of spare parts on the floor. And I don't say that disparagingly, but Wade Lukes is not normally a starter. And neither is Jerry DeVokie, and neither is Vito Pasquale. And right now, they're all in the game. And what a great pass by Lukes, and Kalanovic is 21.
Full court press. They got caught on it, but boy, I'll tell you, that really surprised Saskatchewan, the intensity of that press.
9 different players have hit the score sheet for the University of Victoria. Clemens is on the bench. Sheehan's on the bench. Steele is on the bench. All 3 of them were starters. And Saskatchewan really looks a little bit demoralized here. Victoria having the same kind of effect on the Huskies that they had last Saturday in Lethbridge against the Pronghorns, where they played so very, very well and just did not allow Lethbridge to have any kind of chance at all in the regional final.
Well, one of the advantages, one of the good things in the favor of Saskatchewan right at this particular time, certainly the score is not one of them, but the foul situation is. They're in a foul situation. They're shooting a one-on-one on every common foul, whereas they can afford to give away 3 common fouls before Victoria will be in a bonus.
The shot clock ticks down. Just 5 seconds left, and Victoria a long way out, and Pasquale throws up a rainbow. And DeVokie went after it, and it'll be Saskatchewan ball. I am really impressed with the job that DeVokie has done off the bench in this game, and of course Kalinovic has been the main scoring star for the University of Victoria. But Ken Shields has to be very happy with the way some of his sophomores and youngsters have played, because it says good things about the Viking program for the future. Jockham's along the baseline.
Well, we said this earlier. Jockham's is going to do an awful lot of things. He's involved in everything. We didn't know what position he was going to be playing, and he has played both the backcourt and the forward position in this game, and now he's on the line for a one-on-one. They've got to make these foul shots. The key to breaking down the Victoria lead is to make points when the clock is stopped. Opportunity now to bring it to 18.
Jocham in and out. Tokarczuk got the loose ball, and he's fouled, this time by Luke.
Got another opportunity to do it. We've got Byron Tokarczuk, remember now, 68% foul shooter coming into this game, and he's only shooting about 50%, so he's due to make a couple.
3.5 for Tokarczuk. 63-45 is the score. An 18-point game. The Vikings in complete command. At least at this point, with 10:50 to go in the second half.
Coaches are thinking in terms of baskets. 9-basket game as far as Coach Ivy is concerned. Stop them here. Let's go down and get another one.
Kalanovic off the rim. Tokarczuk got the loose ball. Here comes Jocham working against Pasquale. Jocham with the best play by a Husky in the second half. And we get a timeout called, this time by the University of Victoria. And we have 10 minutes and 28 seconds to play here in the second half. From Halifax, this is the National Semifinal on the Sports Network. at the Saskatchewan bench. And right now, Ken Shields is cracking the whip on the Viking huddle. I was at practice on Wednesday when they arrived here, and they didn't have very much time to get ready for this game, Jack, because, of course, they did not practice last Sunday on the way home from Lethbridge, and it took almost a full day to get here from Victoria to Halifax. Inbounds comes the ball, a holding call against Rima. And so there has not been much preparation.
Yeah. Well, not fatal. Well, I don't know if Saskatchewan had much different time. They've got maybe an hour difference coming this way. But this foul doesn't hurt them right now. They can give a few fouls. I'm not sure that was the place to give them because they've been very careful, and it cost them another timeout. Ken Shields, I don't think wanted that timeout. He's really upset about the fact that they got another timeout charge to them just because they couldn't get the ball inbound.
Well, the positive thing about it is that a second-year player named Wade Lukes was smart enough to know if he didn't get rid of the ball soon, he was going to turn it over, so he called the timeout.
That's right. Let's see if we can listen into Ken.
Get down. When we come back on defense, we're in the 2-3 zone. Okay? How? Now we'll stay 1-3-1. Stay 1-3-1. When the ball goes baseline, don't let Jockins drive baseline. Make him go to the middle. You've got help in the middle. Okay? Just be calm now. Get some press. Get the ball in.
Tonight's first game, our leading scorer so far,
We've talked about it before, Peter. Here, hi, Saskatoon. There's somebody getting their news back in.
Saves the phone call.
but what Ken Shields has got is be careful, not be careful. Let's be patient against the press and use your head against the press. The second thing, let's look. He said, let's look for Lloyd when we're throwing that ball inbound.
Well, that time, Kalinovic came back to help out. They got the ball in play, and now very quickly Scrub sends it away to Pasquale. And now Scrub will take charge. We have 10 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the national semifinal from Halifax. It's Victoria 63 and Saskatchewan 47. Scrub makes the basket. What a bonus that is.
Not only that, he gets that big foul on Byron Takarchuk. What's the move? Here it comes. He comes off this block. Byron tries to come up, and then he bumps right in. Goes right into Byron. And when I say he goes into Byron, he goes into him legally. Byron didn't have his feet established in a great defensive position.
You don't suppose Bruce Enns would like to have this guy still at the University of British Columbia? Scrub played there for a couple of years, sat out a year, and went to the University of Victoria, and he's been a key performer for Ken Shields for the last little while. Karwacki now looking to make something happen for the University of Saskatchewan. Lima inside to Karchuk, looking over to Boki. And a great rebound off the offensive board by Jockins, and he's fouled.
Got a walk. Called a walk on Jockins.
Okay.
I'm sure that Guy Vitry is saying he got a lot of help walking. Got 2 or 3 people pushing.
Guy Vitry is sitting on the Saskatchewan bench wondering what he can do to get his Husky team going. Rima came in briefly and is back out again. And he just has not been a factor for the University of Saskatchewan in this game, at least not offensively.
No, they're having a tough time. And they do have to come back now. The time is going to become a factor very, very soon.
Karchuk tried to steal it. Karwacki eventually did from Devoki. And now Karwacki sets it up for Jochum. Karchuk sends it to Peters. Nice bat. Oh, almost a nice basket. Karchuk is finally fouled.
I think it's the first shot that Peters missed that we saw today. And he really has gone at that there. Again, the people in Saskatchewan have got to be very, very proud of the development of their program. I can remember some years ago. Let's watch the pass across. Tough pass. He dumps it right back in. Shot goes off, lays it off. Here comes the Karchuk. He grabs it and pumps it back up. He's going to shoot too. But they've got to be very, very pleased with the situation. I remember John Restivo and I were working for basketball not too long ago, or maybe pretty long ago. And I know that Murray Swayze down in Moose Jaw and Russ Wilson up in Saskatoon have got to be pleased with the development of basketball in that province.
Well, they've got some good players there, and the most important thing from the point of view of Saskatchewan and Regina schools is the fact that a lot of these players are staying in Canada and playing and helping to improve the profile of the schools and the colleges in that part of the country. And this Husky team now battling to stay alive in this national tournament. Right at the moment, not doing very well. A walking call call by Frank Chiquetto.
Well, the reason they're taking the ball on the side and not the closest place to the violation is the ball did go in. It's to let everybody in the gym know that the ball, although the ball went in, the basket didn't count.
On the turnover, here come the Huskies once again. 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Jones can't handle it. Scrub hustles. And Pasquale forces a jump ball, and it will go to the Vikings.
A lot of people on the floor there. It's an example of good hustle basketball. You need that. When a game is 20 points, it may not seem that important, but I tell you, you get in those close games, that's going to be an important factor.
Scrub works against Dewar, and Dewar is called for the block. So not many things going right here for the Huskies right now.
Well, they're still going to take it out. They've still got fouls to give. That's their sixth. That's the last foul that they can afford to give up. And John Dewar has picked up his third foul.
And, of course, the Huskies have missed John Cleland. Perhaps not offensively quite as much. Jockham's gives them a lot of flexibility, but certainly defensively, John Cleland is a key performer for the Saskatchewan team. And he is missed at his own end of the floor, and that's really where they've had a lot of problems. Kaboki now gets to Kalinovic. What can you say? The youngster has 23 points. You and I first noticed him at the Ryerson tournament in Toronto at the end of December. He played so very well in the final against McGill. Zakarchuk rejected by Devoki. Pasquale now slows everything down and comes back out to the perimeter to Lloyd Scrub.
There's a lot of yelling out there, getting the offense organized. Man-to-man defense, so they get a chance to run their man-to-man offense.
Lukes, unchallenged, off the rim. Dewar control. Karwacki. Dewar. Scrub, great rebound. Boy, did he go after that.
Just rip that right there. Nobody better get in the way there when Scrub went after that basketball.
Jamie Newman getting set to come in. Sheldon Ryman getting set to come in. And Sheehan is checked with the timer, and he's ready to play some basketball as well. And there is Scrub to steal it from Karwacki once again. Lloyd Scrub doing a job defensively, and he's contributed 12 points so far to the Victoria Viking attack. Devoki got control of the loose ball and comes back out to Scrub. Nobody wants to move, and Scrub can't do much when nobody wants to move, except put the ball on the floor and try and fight off the check by Jakob. Karwacki. Jones and Luke takes a little bit of a stroll, and we get a whistle. 6:47 to go in the second half from Halifax. 67-49 Victoria.
Made a pair of bird shoes for last year's MVP.
Yep.
When they made a pair of Magic shoes for this year's MVP.
Okay, Magic, show me what you got.
The bird shoe, the magic shoe. Choose your weapon from Converse.
The National Hockey League returns to the Sports Network Sunday, the 16th of March at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 o'clock here in the Maritime. And we've got another Battle of New York at Madison Square Garden as the Rangers play host to the Islanders in a key Patrick Division matchup with playoff spots on the line in the NHL.
Okay. Otherwise, run the regular press break. Okay. When you come up, you're coming right to the middle. You're taking the middle position.
You're fine.
This has been a team job by the University of Victoria in this game. As I have mentioned, 9 different players have figured into scoring. Clemens has 11 points in the game. Dave Sheehan has just 7 by my count. But 9 different players have scored some points. And if they go on to win this game, that is really going to be, I think, the main storyline, Jack.
Well, it certainly is. They've really spread it out, and it looks as if they're going to go on and win this game. There's still time out there for Saskatchewan to get back, but they've got to get something going. They just don't seem to be able to get a run going. They make a basket or two, and then Victoria comes back and gets them.
All the starters except Kalinovich on the floor now for Victoria, and they have really had a soft night. They have not had to do very much. Great pass that time by Clemens, and Jamie Newman cashes in, and he becomes the 10th Viking to hit the score sheet.
Tremendous tribute to the whole organization and the basketball program.
Karwacki to the corner. Rima. Where has that shot been all game?
Right, would have liked it a little early, but they've got 6 minutes. They've got to get 9 baskets. That's the problem now. 9 baskets in 6 minutes, and Tokarczuk is coming back in the ballgame.
Into the corner to Jamie Newman. Sheehan now. Looks and fires.
See, once they go man-to-man, Sheehan is going to be the guy that they're going to have real trouble with. I mean, they may have problems with a lot of people, but Sheehan is just a bad size. Big enough to push by guys, but he's also quick enough to go by those big guys.
Newman, great rebound. Scrub works his way back down the floor. He and Randy Steele has got the ball briefly. Nice pass inside. They look for Sheehan, and instead it is the Saskatchewan Huskies who jam the key. There's a steal by Randy Steele and a foul called against Jacobs.
Jacobs was upset. He stepped in, didn't see Steele coming. Steele jumped in the way. It was either going to be a steal or a charge. Steal by Steele, is that allowed? Are you allowed to say that?
Steele stole it.
Steele stole it. Holy heck. Let's get a look at it. Here we go. See this? Randy Steele jumps in the way. Jacobs makes a good play by not getting a charge ball, but then he just reaches out with his leg and trips Randy Steele.
Great 5-year veteran for the University of Victoria, Randy Steele, out of Campbell River High School up on the island. And he's been a great player for the University of Victoria. He, too, will be finished this year.
I'll tell you what Saskatchewan's got to worry about is that somebody on Victoria is going to look up at that clock and look at that score and begin to smell that final game, and then they'll never be able to get it.
Steele playing defense. Ball goes out of bounds on Steele. Huskies keep it. But we're seeing the kind of defense, again, that Victoria showed against Lethbridge in that regional final last Saturday night at the Sportsplex in Lethbridge. They really won it on the basis of the way they played in their own zone, I thought.
They did. They've got so many things going for them.
Newman, great job that time. Blocked the shot and went and got the loose ball. And here's a great play. Newman tried to knock it in. It'll be Victoria basketball as Karwacki knocks it out of bounds. So a disappointing effort by the Saskatchewan Huskies, a team good enough to knock off #1 ranked Manitoba in the regional in Saskatoon last Saturday and qualify for its second trip to the Final Four in the last 4 years. But they have come up a buck short against the Victoria Vikings in this game. And even though the Vikings missed 2 shots there, it's 73-51. And the Vikings aren't finished yet. Scrubs took a look, went back outside. Inside now, Steele puts it on the floor, and Sheehan has to go out to the perimeter to get the loose ball. Newman inside, there's Clemens to Tokarczuk. Great defense. Rima gets the loose ball. There's a great pass inside. Peters missed. Peters missed again. Tokarczuk can't control. Sheehan knocked it to the line. And the whistle sounds.
I think Sheehan stepped on the line when he was over there. Ball's going to go to Saskatchewan.
Lloyd Scrub gets a pat on the back from Ken Sheehan. He has played some game for the Victoria Vikings. And Rob Creaky, number 23, makes his first appearance on the floor.
Here we go. It's another one of the group that they keep sending in. I think they must have a battalion of basketball players hidden out at Victoria because they just keep coming at them.
From the corner, that time Jacobs hit the score sheet. 14 points for Greg Jacobs, and again, he has come off the bench for the University of Saskatchewan. He did not start in the game. The injury to John Cleland forced Guy Mitri to change his strategy a little bit and use Jacobs as a spare part both up front and in the backcourt. And Jacobs has scored some points, but it hasn't been near enough. But a foul called against Tokarczuk.
Karchuk got himself behind Clemens. He can't afford to do that. He knows that. Picks up his 4th foul. Just a matter of position. Down now where we're talking about playing against the clock. We've got a 20-point game. We've got Saskatchewan. If they ought to stay in this game, must stop the clock consistently, or constantly, I guess, and make sure that the clock is not running for any period of time. Victoria, on the other hand, doesn't want that clock to stop. They'll try and stay out of foul situations. They'll probably go back in a pretty tight zone. I don't think we'll see them pressing much anymore.
John Dewar brings the ball back down for Saskatchewan. Jocham from the corner. 16 points for Greg Jocham, number 12 of the Saskatchewan Huskies. Inbounds to Steele, Freaky, and Randy Steele now in the backcourt for the Victoria Vikings. 74 to 55 to score. Freaky looking to make a pass, and Sheehan gets in position to take the ball. Newman looks inside for Clemens to Karchuk, knocked it away. Newman got the ball once again. Freaky from a way out.
Well, Freaky had to get rid of the ball. The 30-second clock had run all the way down. It was down about 2 or 3 seconds. So, I mean, it's not a fault of Freaky taking that shot. He just let it go.
Victoria takes the timeout with 2 minutes and 48 seconds to play here in the second half.
Don't forget to pick up your 50-50 ticket.
74 to 55 to score. Victoria Vikings with a 19-point lead.
And
there is Guy Beatrice.
40 to 50. Next guy, girl.
Okay. Not going to win the game. Get something out of it in 3 minutes. Let's go. Let's go, dog. Go. 1, 2, 3, go. Come on.
3-minute game. That's what Guy Beach is talking about. Play a 3-minute game. Let's get something out of this last 3 minutes. They want to try. He wants to end these last 2 days on a good note. While he may not win the basketball game, and he's certainly running out of an awful lot of time here, he wants to play. There are 2 ways to go at it. One is to make this a foul shooting contest right now with an outside chance of winning the game, and I'm not sure you could actually do it because, I mean, you physically can do it, but because Victoria is just a competent, experienced team, I don't think they're going to let you come back at this particular point. The other way is what he wants to do right now, and that is let's finish up strong, let's run our offense, let's not do anything silly.
Moving the ball quickly up to John Dewar, and from the outside, Dewar has 6. We get a foul call, and it's against Dewar for reaching in.
He says no, but John, it's yes. Your dad will tell you that after the game.
And the Husky hasn't had much to bark about on this occasion.
Looks like he covered his eyes then. But, I mean, John Dewar doesn't have a choice on that. He was in a tough position. Last time we had Victoria pressing, but I don't think they're certainly not pressing to speed up the game. I think they're just pressing a little bit to throw them off. Maybe you're also getting a little practice with some of these players in those specific positions.
Randy Steele off the rim. Randy Steele trying to get the loose ball. Newman went after it as well. And finally, after the scramble, it's Karwacki setting it up for Jocham. Inside, there's the Karchuk. Freaky sends the troops down the floor and works his way slowly across midcourt. Being watched by Karwacki. Newman. Freaky is rejected. Jocham is called to the foul. And here's the rookie Jeff McKay from Penticton, BC, checking in for
Good
Victoria.
play. Nice pass coming up here. Nice pass. He makes the turn. I'll tell you what, he knows what he's doing when he gets in there. Did a good job. Keeps the say in there. Mr. Creaky, Rob Creaky. We kind of liked him from the start. He plays a specific role. Doesn't play probably as much as he'd like, but every time he comes in, he makes a few things happen.
The 11th Viking to score in this game.
Ooh. God, they better get the ball to the one guy who hasn't scored, for crying out loud.
Well, he's on the floor, and that's Judge McKay. They brought him in late with 2 minutes to go last Saturday night at Lethbridge, and he had 4 points before you could blink.
That's right. He touches it, there's a chance of getting points. Let's see how we got. He's got almost 2 minutes to get himself a basket in there.
Good basket that time. Jockums gets it and gets fouled.
Ball is on White. Right to three.
Foul is on Jerry DeVokie, his third.
DeVokie called for his third foul in the game. 1:47 to go. Victoria on its way to the final. One more victory, and it will be 7 straight CIU National Championships. And I suppose, Jack, that this is a good point to talk about the domination of one school and reflect for a moment on just how healthy that is for CIU. McKay missed, good rebound, and the outlet pass to Karwacki.
Well, I'm not sure that it's good for the league in general, although that's not something that, it's not Ken Shields and the University of Victoria that's got to worry about that. People have got to come up. You'd like to have parity. You'd like to have 5, 6, 7 teams in the league who might win the championship, but if the other schools don't get the players, we can't expect Ken Shields and the University of Victoria to back down. And by the way, these people have beaten Victoria, during the season. So it's not as if they dominate every single game. I think Ken Shields brought him along. I think he had a tough year for him. And then he brought him along. This is a heck of a time to get people ready.
Freaky with a great scrambling effort. The ball goes to the Saskatchewan Huskies. And we're down to 61 seconds to play in this national semifinal. Victoria going to the final for the 7th straight year. It's Tokarczuk. Gets on the score sheet again. Tokarczuk with 17 points in the game, but he really has not been as big a factor as he normally is for the Huskies. Double dribble called against Freaky.
Well, 44 seconds. They'll get the ball back, Victoria.
(76-64) the score. A 12-point Victoria advantage as the second tick down in his national semifinal. Karwacki finds the range from the outside. 8 points for Karwacki. Newman with the long pass. McKay wants on the score sheet, makes a good pass to Sheehan, and off balance, he does not get the basket. Jockums. Inside to Tokarczuk. Tokarczuk at 19. You think maybe they're trying to set up young McKay and get everybody on the score sheet, and the foul called by Karwacki.
I don't think that they'll be aware of it, on the bench. I mean, I'm not sure, but I don't think they'd be aware of it. They've got other things on their mind. Peter, you and I are the two bananas over here who are thinking about the only guy that didn't get on the score sheet. I'll tell you, Mr. McKay has got his points at other times when they were much more important than 2 points would be right now.
Freaky with 3 points in the game, all from the free throw line. He did not appear on the floor until late in this second half. And a lot of very happy people out in Victoria, I'm sure, cheering on their team. The victory in this game over Saskatchewan. Great basket by Tokarczuk.
Kathy Shields is going to be happy about this one.
All right, Jack, in 30 seconds, a comment about the University of Victoria.
Too many horses. They all went out there. We talked about Clemens and Sheehan. They didn't have to do it tonight. Too many other people took over.
A very workmanlike effort by the University of Victoria as you look at Ken Shields and his Viking team.
4 teams entered play Friday, knowing that only 2 would survive. The semifinals were held at the Metro Center in Halifax. One semi saw Western face Waterloo, and the other, Saskatchewan, had to go up against history. The Huskies faced 5-time defending champion Victoria.
The Vikings took command early and never let up. Sean Kalanovich led the way. This basket makes it 16-6 Victoria. Kalanovich had 23 points in this game. More of the same in the second half. Lloyd Scrubb leads the 2-on-1, gives it to Kalanovich, 56-37 Victoria. Lloyd Scrubb with another pretty play to extend the Victoria lead to 65-47.
makes the basket. What a...
Greg Jochum got 19 points for the Huskies coming off the bench as Western put on a late surge to make the score closer than the play. The Warriors advanced to the final with a 78-70 victory. Tough game in the second semifinal as the underdog Western fought it out with Waterloo. Randy Norris with the good move in the basket. 30-28 Waterloo in front. The Mustangs kept it close. Kevin Armstrong to brother Pod Armstrong hits the long jumper. 32-31 Waterloo. The Warriors led it 34-31 at halftime. In the second half, Western came on strong. Peter Van de Bovenkamp steals the ball, then takes it coast to coast to give the Mustangs a 53-49 lead. With time running out, the veteran Peter Savage comes up with a couple of clutch shots. This jumper made it 66-64.
It was Hudson. Ken Shields and his University of Victoria basketball Vikings continue to make CIAU history. The Vikings are now just one victory away from capturing their 7th straight national championship, following a very impressive 78-70 victory in semifinal play this afternoon against the Saskatchewan Huskies in Halifax. Actually, the score was a little flattering as far as Saskatchewan was concerned. There was a slight letdown by Victoria in the final 90 seconds of the ball game, allowing Saskatchewan a few extra points. Up until that point, it was a complete Victoria rout. Sean Kilanovich with 24 points, Clemens with 12, and despite 21 points, Byron Tokarczuk for Saskatchewan was ineffective throughout the entire ball game. The Vikings go on to face, for the 3rd straight year in a row, the Waterloo Warriors. Waterloo this afternoon defeated Western 69-67. The Vikings with an easy semifinal victory against Saskatchewan. Let's have a look at the action. It was Saskatchewan getting on the board first. Jones will give the Huskies a 2-0 lead. But on the very next play, Sean Kalinovich will tie it. Vikings playing a 2-3 defense, keeping Clemens under the basket. It works. Number 55 comes up with a steal, and he's fouled on the play. Clemens had only 4 points the first half, but his play had a bearing early. Here he grabs the miss. Will get it to Scrub. Scrub over to Sheehan, and from outside the shot will miss, but Clemens follows up on the play for the rebound and the score. Victoria takes the lead early and for good in the ball game, 8-6. Sean Kalinovich takes a nice pass inside. Victoria has its first 10-point lead of the ball game, 16-6. The outside Viking game working very well. Number 12, Graham Taylor, makes it 26-15. Graham Taylor again. This time he gets it into Wade Lukes, 28-18. Another outside shot from Graham Taylor, 30-18. Saskatchewan tries to come back, and here's Byron Tokarczuk on the foul line. He puts his team to within 5. It's 30-25, but these are the only anxious moments of the ball game for the UVIC Vikings. Victoria will come right back. Scrub from outside. The Vikings are back up by 7. Closing moments of the first half. Scrub with another great play. Victoria leads at the half, 38-27. It's all Victoria in the second half. Cord Clemens with this score, 43-31. The Clemens-Tokarczuk battle did not materialize. And on one of the rare opportunities between the two, Tokarczuk does beat Clemens on this one, but the Vikings still lead by 12. Just a great game for Kalinovich. Here he takes a pass from Clemens, 51-36. And there's no stopping the defending national champions. A great play. Lloyd Scrub to David Sheehan. Score and foul. A 3-point play. Victoria goes up by 19. Nothing can go wrong for Victoria on this day. A great rebound by Newman. The Huskies are totally frustrated. And when Saskatchewan does have an opportunity, it just won't go. Peters with a pair of misses. Tokarczuk can't control. The Huskies come away empty. John Dewar provides one of the very few Saskatchewan highlights of the second half. This shot from well out, 76-60. Tokarczuk here with an easy score for the Huskies, 76-64. All of this Saskatchewan scoring coming in the dying moments of the ball game. It's just too late. Ken Shields and his Vikings in the national final again, and they're one win away from a 7th consecutive CIAU title. 78-70 was the final score. The Vikings defeating the University of Saskatchewan in the semifinal. Player of the game, Sean Kalinovich of the Vikings, with a total of 23 points. And Sean is on the line with us now. And Sean, an outstanding game. Certainly, you people must be pleased.
Well, we're quite happy. The
Saskatchewan team was trying to key on Cord Clemens, and the way we've been working on it this week, it looked like if they keyed on him, we could probably dish the ball down under the hoop to me or Jamie Newman or any of the other forwards, and it just worked out that way today, and we were pleased with that.
What were your thoughts going into the game, knowing that maybe attention would be focused towards you if the Clemens situation didn't work out?
I didn't feel bad about it. I was ready to play, and I think personally this was the most prepared I was the whole year, and I just felt ready to come out and give it my best effort.
Saskatchewan was not in the game at all today. Why was that? Or was it due to the fact that you people were just so sharp?
Well, at the very beginning of the game, we were really sharp. We were ready to go. We went up 26 or 20 to 8, and I think their momentum never really picked up that much, and we really put them out of the game early. They did come back here and there in the second half, but I think at the beginning of the game, we keyed on to Karchuk, stopped him, and we got a lot of easy hoops on the break and inside, and that really cut them off, and they didn't get going.
We made so much of that Karchuk-Clemens matchup. It just didn't materialize all day long.
Well, the defense really stopped both in a way, and for us it worked out because the way we planned it, if Clemens was double-teamed or under pressure, then someone else was open under the hoop. But Tukarchuk didn't seem really to get going and couldn't find a lot of other people open, so we really took advantage of it better than anyone else.
Are you surprised that 10, 11 Viking ball players were part of the scoring today? Was that the game plan?
Well, we were planning on getting everyone in there. Ken Shields told us that, we were in better shape and we've got a lot of people that can play, and we used them. We were ready to play.
That it is a 7th straight championship that you people will be going after. Ken Shields has tried to avoid that fact, stating that it's just another national championship, it's just another ball game. Certainly you people can't ignore the fact that you continue to make history.
I think we just take it year by year, game by game, and we're not worrying about it being the seventh championship. We're just going out there and looking to win another game, 40 minutes of ball, and we're going to come out completely prepared tomorrow, not worrying about keeping the string alive. We're just going to win the game.
Sean, congratulations on a fine